Holiday season is here, and so people are rushing to the hills again. Year-end holiday crowds have flooded all hill stations all across the country. Shimla, Manali, Kullu and Dharamshala, choking roads across Himachal Pradesh. The winter carnival and Christmas New Year rush have pushed traffic volumes to the limit, with 8,000 to 10,000 vehicles entering Shimla every day. Officials have deployed 400 police personnel as more than 3 lakh tourists are expected in the coming days. Heavy congestion, long delays and slow-moving traffic are being reported across hill routes, especially in and around Shimla. The situation worsened after fresh snowfall, with nearly 1,000 vehicles stranded between Solang and the Atal Tunnel. Around 700 tourists were rescued and moved to safer areas. Tourism's impact on the hills is a double-edged sword, really, bringing economic benefits like jobs and revenues, but also severe environmental and socio-cultural challenges. Uncontrolled tourism is increasingly putting pressure on fragile ecosystems, especially in hill states and eco-sensitive regions. While tourism creates jobs, it often leads to economic imbalance, favoring short-term gains over long-term sustainability. Experts stress the need for sustainable tourism, managing visitor numbers, promoting green practices, involving local communities, and developing alternate destinations to reduce pressure on the hotspots. The message is clear: tourism must grow, but responsibly, or risk damaging the very destinations people come to enjoy. Meanwhile, Ladakh's Lieutenant Governor Kavinder Gupta has called for a strong push towards sustainable and responsible tourism to protect the region's fragile ecosystem while ensuring long-term benefits for local communities. Speaking during his visit to the iconic Sangam Point near Leh, the LG underlined that tourism is a key driver of Ladakh's economy, but stressed the need to balance growth with environmental preservation. Christmas New Year tourist rush has choked Himachal Pradesh. Tourists are flooding Shimla, Manali and Kullu. 8,000 to 10,000 vehicles, they've been telling you, entering Shimla city. Long delays, 1,000 vehicles stranded, 700 tourists rescued. And all that meant pollution rising from traffic and waste. Landslide risks increasing in hill zones. Water shortages hitting tourist towns, and local culture under pressure. And this is not just a phenomenon that's only there in the north. Tourists are flocking to the popular Tamil Nadu hill station, Kodaikanal. As the long winter season holidays kick-started, the sudden increase in tourist footfall has caused heavy traffic jams in key areas of the city. Areas like Silver Falls, Sinbaganur, Srinivasapuram, Moonjikal and Natchakar Lake witnessed heavy traffic jams, causing inconvenience to the people. Drone visuals showed vehicles lined up in long queues for more than 5 kilometers on the Kodaikanal Ghat Road entering the city. Kodaikanal, situated in Tamil Nadu's Dindigul district, is one of the most beautiful hill towns in the Western Ghats. Every year, a large number of domestic and foreign tourists travel to Kodaikanal because of its lakes, undulating hills, foggy forests and enthralling scenery. Meanwhile, the Indian Met Department has said that Tamil Nadu, Puducherry and Karaikal are likely to experience dry weather conditions until Sunday. The Met Department attributed the weather pattern to changes in easterly wind flow over the region. There is a forecast of moderate rainfall in several parts of Tamil Nadu from the 29th of December till the 1st of January. We have Vimlendu Jha, environmentalist, Divan Singh, environmentalist, joining us in the broadcast as we speak. Vimlendu and Divan, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us. Vimlendu, I'm going to begin by asking some fundamental questions. The cities, especially Delhi and the National Capital Region, is completely choking everybody to death. So it's only natural that people want some kind of a relief from it, and they will go to the hills. If you are in Delhi, you will go to Manali, to Shimla, and if you are in Tamil Nadu to escape from the heat and to take advantage of the holiday season, it is but natural that people want to travel. But striking this balance is going to be crucial for the long term, because we are going to lose a part of our ecology with every passing tourist season.
Absolutely. So, nobody's against having a good time. I think everyone deserves a holiday, and of course, the Christmas and the New Year vacation that we're talking about. But imagine the areas that we are referring to: Shimla, Himachal, Uttarakhand, and also several parts of South India in that sense. Many of these areas are ecologically fragile. Of course, the right to have a good time cannot be more important than right to air or water or sustainability. By the way, the roads that you're actually showing that are choked primarily, despite a lot of broadening activities that have taken place. So this year, for example, at least for 3 to 4 months, I would have done more than 100, 200 shows only with regard to the kind of crisis Himalayas was facing. And therefore, when we're looking at what will 2026 look like, or what will 2026 monsoon, pre-monsoon and post-monsoon, and the monsoon will look like, will be an impact of this kind of tourism. So right now, of course, it's inconvenience videos that we are seeing in terms of how there's a traffic jam. But largely, if you look at the long-term impact, and long-term meaning very, very immediate, also in the sense in the next 6 months, and we've seen it last June, July, August, the kind of broadening of roads and the landslides and flooding that have taken place primarily for what? Because for increased tourism activities. Unfortunately, Himachal Pradesh depends a lot on tourism in terms of its economy. But imagine what is the relevance of a Himachal Pradesh if there's no Himachal, if there's no Himalayas, if there's no forest. Because at the end of the day, to make our visual appetite richer, or to make our holiday very, very exciting, we're actually compromising the basic foundation of that place, which is its ecology. If you take the ecology out, if you take the forest and the mountain out of the Himachal Pradesh, or from Kodaikanal or from any other places, there will be no these places will not exist. So it's a very, very unfortunate thing that we're talking about. That if, of course, people should have the right to go and visit and see snowfall and experience it, but how many is too many? Because the carrying capacity, each and every time we say that the carrying capacity of the Himalayas or of various other ecological zones need to be considered when we're actually promoting tourism slash economic activity, because tourism is not just tourism, it's largely an economic activity that we're talking about. And therefore, the rationing of it, of course, everyone has a right to go to Shimla, but imagine if Shimla runs out of water, and exactly that happened a couple of years ago in one of the summer months,
Right.
or for that matter, if Shimla has a waste crisis where the mountain of Himalayas is one thing, but also the mountain of garbage. So both are happening at the same time. So that's a big, big challenge of sustainable tourism that goes with the carrying capacity of that particular geography, of that particular place. And people will have to understand, the state governments have to understand that how much can we push to really experience a good time.
Right. Divan Singh, we've had examples in the West, in Europe, in some of these tourist hotspot cities where they're actually capping the number of visitors who can come during these peak seasons, and in fact charging city taxes and stuff to sort of dissuade the crowds, or to dissuade overcrowding. That kind of a thing needs to be done here in India as well.
Yes, definitely, Krishna. And I think Vimlendu talked many relevant points how it's impacting that state environment. So people in the West, the governments there have learned hard way how it has impacted their environment in the past. So they're doing the right thing. Then they are very particular about preserving their pristine environment, which is left at very few spots in entire Europe. So they are on the right path in that sense, and are very circumspect. But in India, we need to do it again the same way, and we need to cap that number. Now, tourism is a state subject. So the state government is under pressure how to, whether to uh, restrict the tourism activities, because that affect the livelihood. On the other hand, about the foundation, as Vimlendu just said, the very foundation is the environment there. The green mountains, the valleys, and the rivers. Now, we need to conserve them so that they are not much polluted and also continues to thrive. But these are two challenges, and the state governments will need to balance that. Now, on the other hand, Central also need to very active on this front, because most people going this time, now such a huge number going in winters is a rarity, and this time they are going. because we are not mending our own houses. We are not looking after our own environment in cities like Delhi or nearby. I mean, almost all of northern India cities are choking with polluted air. So to escape from that, that's the reason such a large number is going to the mountains this time. So we need to mend our own house, look after it. We need to ensure there's less pollution in Delhi, and that will make sense in the whole scenario.
Okay.
What we need to do is the states that are hosting these tourists need to somewhat bring a balance in livelihood, how livelihoods are depending on tourism activities and non-tourism activities. People in these hilly states are too much dependent on these tourism activities, which needs to be lessened. And non-tourism activities should be more encouraged so that people's livelihood is also diverted the other way. And the hills are not so crowded in these seasons. Now, winters are never bringing so much of people, but this time they are bringing it. So it means the surge is increasing with every year, and these authorities need to wake up and take strong action. And this capping the number in what manner, by strict order capping it that not more than these people, or creating a sort of disincentives for people so that less people come. It's for the government to do it. There can be many good suggestions. And the waste is another thing, as I can see on your screen. So much of plastic and solid waste is generated daily with these tourism activities. And we need to be responsible of the tourists. But at the same time, there's an infrastructural crisis in these hilly states. Because the more you try to cater to this influx of tourists, more hotels you try to create, the more accommodation and the more transport facilities, the more the roads, the more the environmental damage happens around. And the very foundation for which we are going there gets deteriorated, gets affected. So the balance is very important at this stage, and the state, Uttarakhand, Himachal, they need to think over it and take a strong action rather than get carried away by the influx and think of money.